The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world would little note, nor longer remember, what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. I'd been in the Army before and had been released. I was in active reserve, along with many other people called to active duty when the Korean War started. Some of the people who were with me, who had been recalled, had been in the Second World War. They had thought that their commitment to their country and to the Army was finished, and now 5 and 6 years later, they were called back, told that they were facing combat again. I think probably the most distinct memory that I have of that is how perhaps the three groups of us, the people who were National Guard, who had been together as a unit for some years, and then the reservists like myself called back the Second World War people, and then ones like myself who had been in the Army more recently, how we fit together and how we became very good friends. A very distinct memory of how closely we felt together. One of these people I still correspond with after many years, and I think the important thing is the friendship we formed, the reliance we place on each other, the faith we felt in each other in doing the duties that were required of us in the Army to serve our country and to reach our goal.
My most distinct memory of Iraq is actually the friendships that I made. You wouldn't think that a wartime would be the best time to make friends, but the best friends I've ever had in my life were those soldiers, the men and the women that were there when we really needed them most. Part of the mission that we had by escorting convoys up and down the highways was we were on a fixed timetable. So the insurgents knew what time we were leaving the base and what time we would be arriving back at the base. So they had all day to plan when they were going to attack us. So we got bombed a lot and we got shot at a lot, and a lot of our trucks got blown up and a lot of people got hurt along the way. But through it all of my soldiers never quit. They never refused to go on missions. They never asked to be taken off of missions. They developed the attitude that if things were going to be bad, it's going to be bad no matter what, and they would rather be there and be a part of it than be sitting on the sidelines waiting.
On December the 8th, 1968, I had 2 days to go in country. We had patrol out in the Wayan district, just north of my camp, my Special Forces camp. We had a patrol out and they ran into a VC squad. We took 3 friendly casualties, and the Dustov medevac helicopter that was going in to pick them up would not go in unless they had a Special Forces soldier with them. So they stopped to pick me up. Went into the valley. We picked up the 3 wounded. We were taking off. We came under intense ground fire. The first bullet through the helicopter just missed a red cross on the front of the bubble and hit the pilot, who was actually flying the aircraft at the time. The irony of the thing is, this was the 8th of December. I was going to leave the camp on the 10th to come home. So I'm up in a helicopter, which is on the verge of crashing, and I'm saying, I've got 2 days to go in country, and I'm going to die in this helicopter crash. Helicopter didn't crash. So anyhow, that's a memorable one, and I still think about that when I came so close to dying. And I knew I was going to die. I just was sort of resigned to it. This is it. So that keeps haunting me, but anyhow, I'm healthy, I'm alive, and so that's the event.
You wanted to know what is my most decisive moment. It would have to be on July 29, 1967, when the Forrestal had a major fire on board. It all happened at about 10:52 in the morning. A rocket shot across the flight deck and hit the belly tank of John McCain's aircraft. As it went through the aircraft, or the belly tank, it ripped it open and aviation gasoline poured out onto the flight deck and ignited. There were 9,000-pound bombs that exploded, a lot of rockets were shot across the flight deck at that time. And about 24 hours after that, some of the fires were out, and the death toll came to 134 were killed and 69 were injured. And that memory stays with me. It's, I don't know if PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. I have dreams, certain smells, things like this bring this reoccurrence back to me every night. And like I said, last night I was aboard the Forrestal in my dreams. So that happens to be my most devastating experience of my service in Vietnam. We were sent back home for repairs, and in July of '68 I was released from the Navy and sent home. That's it.
My best memory and my worst memory of my service time was actually coming home, landing in California, and realizing the country I've just come home to has changed dramatically in 3 years. Coming home from a war zone to another war zone really kind of was a cultural experience. Seeing the hate that the Americans had, a lot of the college students had for GIs coming home from a war zone was one heck of an experience. That made it on the bad side, along with not knowing the faith of a lot of my brothers still in Vietnam. That was the bad side. The good side was I was home.
When I was in Vietnam in '65, we transported a lot of supplies, equipment, personnel all over Vietnam. And I was assigned to be crew chief on a C-130, which is a rather large transport type airplane. Well, we were in Da Nang, and we had some time off, so I met with a few Army guys that were in supply, and they asked if I would like to go on a run with them to deliver supplies up to some of their base camps. So I said, sure. I didn't have anything to do. Well, halfway up there, we were ambushed, and within 2 minutes of the firefight, it was over. There was numerous deaths and injured people, which really affected me the rest of my life because I've never been into anything that terrible. So I deal with that all of my life. I go to Heinz and get subscriptions, ease the pain, try to stop the memories, stop the cold sweats. I don't know of any cure. I'm kind of lost for words because it's pretty emotional just talking about this. I don't know what else to say.